Alright, family and friends, this is Rob, the Sapper Gardener, representing Essayons Family Garden. And today we're going to be doing a review on some grow lights that we've just ordered in. So I've got two, and I'm going to open one and show you guys everything that's inside. And then I'm going to go down to the Sapper Cave and I'm going to set everything up. So I've been watching a lot of people on YouTube with a nice grow light set up downstairs. And I've got some lights, but I have to admit, I have been very frugal when buying grow lights. So I've gotten the cheapest ones I could get at Lowe's and Home Depot and Walmart when I can catch them on sale. So finally I splurged and got some more professional type grow lights, and they're still good for home growers. I mean, I didn't go out buying thousands of dollars, and you may hear SK2 playing on the iPad. The whole family is sitting around us. My wife, my oldest son, my youngest son.
Maggie.
No, we're good. So, as you can see from the heft and the weight, as I take this light out, this is a much.
I thought it was an Xbox.
No, it's not an Xbox.
It's like a monitor. I mean, like a PC.
So, yeah, this light is definitely much more professional, and hopefully will get us much better results from our starts downstairs. So this is a heavy duty, more professional grow light. And yeah, it looks like very easy setup. So I will put the details of it downstairs. I got the power cord, I got the grow light, and one of the things that I've always intended to do with our lights, it has a cable system to it so that I can raise and lower these lights depending on the size and age of the start. So very, very nice complete setup. And we've got some lanyards also and hooks to help set this up. So got it open. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to clean off the grow shelf that we've got. I'm going to take off the cheapo lights that I have on there now. And I shouldn't say cheapo. I should say I have affordable lights set up now, because not everybody can afford to spend, dozens of hard-earned dollars on a grow light. If you can only afford the $10, $15, $20 ones that they have at Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, by all means they'll work. But as we get more serious about gardening, we want to have a more serious setup, and these lights are definitely an upgrade from what we have now. So let me go downstairs and Alright, family and friends, this is Rob, the Sapper Gardener, back. And we've got the light set up in here, and it is very bright. It's actually affecting the camera lighting more than I expected. But I'm going to take you guys over here. I actually had to redo my grow room setup a little bit for the lights, but I'm going to show you how they both work and the two different ways that I set them up. So let me change this around. So the lights come with a pulley system, a very simple block and tackle type pulley system. You got carabiners on the tackle and a carabiner on the end. And you can see on this one, I actually have the pulley system set up, which is one of the reasons I had to adjust my grow station. I actually switched out shelves to do my starts on. I had a 5-foot shelf with probably about 18 to 24 inch spacing, maybe a little bit more on this one right here. On this shelf, I'm sorry, on my old shelf I had 12 to 18 inch spacing. This one I had to space them out a little bit, just the way the block and tackle system is set up. So if you've got a really tight space, you may not want to use the block and tackle. So I have it as simple. You attach clips to the light, which I had to turn off because they were so bright they were throwing the camera off. But you attach clips to the lights, and then you've got a wire that attaches to another carabiner or to the carabiner on the tackle system, if I can find myself. So you don't have to use this one. You can attach these directly to this if you want to. So there are some adjustments you may have to make depending on how much space you have on your grow shelf. If you're using a ceiling and table, if you're using shelving, so all that will vary based on what you are doing. If you do have a tighter space and you don't anticipate lowering the light up and down based on your plants, which is a good idea to lower up and down just depending on what you're starting, you may want to just use the clips. Let's see if it'll adjust the way that I did. And you can attach these clips directly to, you know, a wire frame, or if you've got hook screwed into a wood shelf unit, you can do that also, and you'll still have plenty of space for the light below your starts to get up. So when you put your seedlings in and everything comes out, you can do it that way also. So I'm going to try to show you guys again how bright the lights are. And what I'll do is when I put the link to these lights, I'll also put the outage for these so that you can see how much they're putting out. So here we go. Alright, and I'll step back a little bit. So I haven't thrown away my old lights. I got 2 of these, which I think will be good for most of my starts. But these were not the least expensive lights I've ever bought, so they do cost a little bit more again. But they are putting out a ton of light. And I think they will help what we're trying to do. So there you can see one, and I've seen other growers, indoor growers, use these lights before. I never really thought about it, well, these lights or lights similar to these, but they are supposed to be really great for starting seedlings indoors and growing plants indoors. So alright, family and friends, this is Rob the Sapper Gardener. Excuse the rosy glow, but I promised a few weeks ago to do an update on our new grow lights, and I'm gonna try to do that today. We were asked by a company to review a grow light that they have, and we actually got this back early January, I believe, and or it may have been late December. But as I said before, we don't like to get something, use it once or twice, say it's great, and then it breaks, you know, 2 weeks later, like we did with our sprayer backpack. So with the GrowStar lights, we've had them, we've been using them for a while, so I'm going to turn you guys around and show you the lights, give a few features about it, and then I'm going to sit down and talk about some of the specifics for it. What we like about it, some things that we may do a little bit different, and if anybody is interested in this company and wants to try these, I'll actually leave a code that they gave me to get the lights at a discount. So let me turn you guys around and show you what they look like and how things are doing for us. So if you guys can't tell from the video, these lights are super bright. I just turned off the regular lights down here in the sapper cave, and you can see how bright these lights are even from a distance. I'm about 10 feet away now, and one of the things that I've learned, I probably should have done a little bit more research. These are not like your typical lights that you'll get at Lowe's or Home Depot for plants. We actually have some of those up top. Those are designed to cover a pretty small surface, but these GrowStar lights are actually like mini shop lights in a way, because they're designed to cover large areas. So one light is designed to set up about 36 inches at least from your plants to cover a 5 by 5 foot area. So they cover our area very, very well. We actually have a shelf across from the grow light, so we've got two grow lights, one here and one, where's my finger at, one down here. And eventually we'll move those, since we know that they're designed to cover large areas. I just wanted to set these up so you guys could kind of see how they do. So now I'm going to turn the lights off and talk about them a little bit so that you can actually see. Okay, so that didn't work. So it's about 9 o'clock at night, so it's pretty dark outside. So I don't know if you guys can see these or not. So I'm actually going to turn the grow lights back on, and hopefully you'll be able to see the plants despite the glare of the grow light. So hold tight. So we got a catch-22. When the lights are on, it's pretty hard for the camera. Hopefully you guys can see, but our plants are doing really, really good. Those that I'm watering properly. One of the comments I got on a previous video when I mentioned the GrowStar light setup was that they get super hot, or somebody was told they get super hot, and they do produce some heat, but they're not super hot. My hands touching it and it's warm, but it's not hot, but it does raise the temperature on your plants. These lights give off, I don't know how much heat, but enough to almost not need the grow mat. We do use the grow mats on ours, and I can already tell I haven't watered our Mexibel and pigeon peas, and they need water. They do give off enough heat that you have to kind of monitor your plants a little bit, especially if they're close. As I mentioned, these are designed to be about 3 feet high off your plants, and these definitely are not. So they do sell a bar set that you can get to position your grow lights up high. If you're in a garage and you want to mount them on a ceiling or something, you can do that. I'm not doing that. But what I probably will do at some later point is move this light up to the top shelf, not put plants on this shelf, and keep plants down here and on the lower 3 shelves. And that way I can make sure that they're not drying everything out faster than I want to water. But you can see we've got plants on shelves that are farther away from them. Our shishitos are doing great. We've got some, if I can see my tags, we just planted celery, and we got something else germinating here, which is kale, and they're all doing great, and they're obviously farther away from the light, but they are getting plenty of light even being feet away from it. We've got plants over on this shelf where we don't have a light actually attached, and they are doing great too. So if you get this, we got 2 just because we weren't as familiar with it as we should have been. We probably could have got away with getting one and then just hanging it from that top shelf to cover both shelves. But what I'll probably do is get the attachment to put on this shelf so that I can raise this light up, and then we'll just have double light. We'll have extra light, but not as much of an issue with the heat because, you know, the plants are doing well. We've got roselle plants down here, and they're doing good. We've got our moringa, which is doing good. I just need to water everything again. So you got to stay on top of your watering with these because they do put off heat. They're not blazing hot, but they're hot enough you need to pay a little extra attention. We've done tons of microgreens here, and the microgreens love these lights. So I would recommend them, but I'm going to talk to you guys about them a little bit more before putting everything together for this video. Alright. So I'm not going to bore you guys with a bunch of technical details, half of which I don't know what they mean myself. And I'm going to try to get the camera straight. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. So I turned the lights off for this video because something about when they're on, the house lights, everything kind of washes out a lot. But we're impressed with the lights. Everything that we planted so far has done good. Again, they do put off heat, so if you're using them and you're using heat mats, you definitely want to be careful. So we moved our heat mats over so they're a little bit farther away from the light source. They do have fans so that the lights themselves technically, supposedly can't overheat. We've had them a month and a half and haven't had any problems with that. But we also love that they have the fans to push warm air out because we do a lot of microgreens. And anybody who's growing microgreens, you know, one of the things, just like with mushrooms, you have to be careful of is mold. And if you've got a fan, you've got, you know, air circulation, it helps prevent mold. So with those, they push the air around your grow area. It makes the plant stronger, just like if you're outside, if they're moving around a little bit, you know, trees grow stronger if they're growing, you know, fighting the wind. So the plants seem to be doing well with those. Yeah, everything has been really good. The heat surprised me. When we bought these, I think it was late December. I'll put the date that we got them down below. When I got these, I was sitting here. This is my work area when I work from home or when I'm doing videos. I did notice it was a little bit warmer than usual. It's usually about 65 to 70 degrees down here. And I was dressed like I am with a long sleeve shirt on, and I was like, wow, it's a little warmer today. And first I thought maybe my wife had turned the heat on upstairs, but then I thought, oh no, it's the lights, because the other grow lights we have are just regular fluorescent bulbs, and they don't put off heat like this puts off heat. This does raise things a few temperature. I haven't measured it compared to the rest of the house, but I would say at least probably about 5 degrees warmer than, you know, everything around it and the rest of the house, which to me is a good thing this time of year. Our setup is right next to our our exit in the basement, which is a little cooler, especially if I'm going in or out, so I don't mind the heat. And again, our roselle, which loves the heat, seems to be doing well, and it's actually the farthest away from it, so I may actually switch to roselle with some of our early peas and other things that are growing. But we've got a lot of stuff growing down here. I did a video a few weeks ago that I'll link up here. We've added more since then. The kale is new. We've sown some rosemary, things that we can transfer in the pots if it grows up too much before we put out. Our early peas will stand a light frost, so we'll get those out. Probably a couple more weeks. We'll get those outside, and hopefully we don't have any super hard frost to kill those off. But We're happy with the GrowStar lights. We have two of them. They do cost a little bit more. The other grow lights that we got from Home Depot and from Park Seed were, I'd say, between $20 and $40, and these run in the $80-ish range. But with the 20% off coupon, they're not much more expensive than some of the other grow lights, and to us, they're a much better value. One of these GrowStar lights would probably replace 4 or 5 of the, I shouldn't call them cheap because they do the job, but the less expensive lights that we got at Home Depot for $20, $30. One of these GrowStars will replace easily 4 or 5 of those lights. So to us, it's a great value. The one thing that I need to look at though is our setup does not maximize these. Since they cover a 5 by 5 foot area, well, I need to get ours higher up, and I would advise anyone who does buy these to take that into account, because our previous setup, our shelves were about 12 to 18 inches in separation, and the grow lights would be too warm for that. You need to keep them, I'd say, at least a good 18 inches to 3 feet away from the plants, so that they can maximize, not for fear of burning them, which they can get too warm and dry out, but because you want to maximize the tool that you're using. And to us, this is a good tool to have. But we've got onions, we've got leeks, we've got definitely pigeon peas, we've got our bay laurel here, we've got our pineapple, which I suspect the pineapple is dead, but that's not because of the grow lights. That's, I just don't have luck growing pineapple. We've got our sweet potatoes, and these lights put off, there's a term PAR, PAR, and it talks about the radiation that they put off that's good for the plant so they can do more photosynthesis, and they put off more of that than the regular lights do, because they do it in a spectrum. They're a full spectrum grow light, so they don't do just one level of the spectrum, they do like the sun, so they get different amounts of different light bands, which is not a technical term, I know, but I'm not a technical person. So that's kind of our informal review of the GrowStar lights. I'll put a link again for the discount that the company sent me if anybody's interested in buying those. But as with everything else, do your research. Don't buy it just because I'm saying we like it. Do your research. See if it's a good product for you to use at home. If you do like it, you know, by all means use the code. We don't get anything from you buying these. We're not being sponsored by the company. They just ask us to review it and give our opinion of it. And I like them. I wish I'd gotten these, you know, years ago. But that's it. So if anybody's interested, I'll put a link to the website. I may put a picture up here or there of the site on Amazon that we ordered ours, so you can look at the price and things before you go and get sticker shock. But again, one of these lights is equivalent to, in my opinion, and again, I'm not a technical person, is equivalent to 4 or 5 of the lights that you'll get at Home Depot, or the ones that we got at Park Seed, which do work. They did the job. We'll still use those. We'll figure out a setup, you know, to combine these. But if I can use one GrowStar to do the job of 4 or 5 of the other lights, then I'm gonna pick a GrowStar every time. So that's my opinion. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna give you guys some information down below, and check it out and see if it'll work for you. Again, I think they're good, but you have to decide for yourself. But I give them 2 thumbs up for the results that we've gotten in the month and a half that we've had them. So as always, this is Rob, the Sapper Gardener, representing Essayons Family Garden. God bless our great country, America. God bless you wherever you reside around the world. Your garden, your harvest, your kitchen, your meals, and especially your family to have health, success, and prosperity as we do. Take care. Sapper out.